Hello YouTube, it's Conspiracy Boy here with a bank holiday weekend car boot haul video. This is a re-upload with some added new bits of a video I put out on Sunday, but the sound quality is non-existent. So yeah, we'll quickly try and run through some of the stuff you may have previously seen, and then I'll show you some new stuff that was from today. Yesterday we went to 3 car boot sales. Today we went to, well, let's say 3, and I'll explain a bit more later. So this is 6 car boot haul videos all in one. First things I picked up on Sunday were these cool little transformery sort of toys. The guy looked like he was a trader, and he had loads of boxed little toy cars, you know, the ones with like crisp packets on the sides and Bovril and whatnot, horrible ones that I don't like, and these were in the box too. So I asked him how much he wanted for the pair, and he said 50p, so that was a really good buy. I think this was one of my favouriteest buys. They say Bandai 1984 on this forklift truck looking orange fella, and on the bottom of this one it says Hasbro Takara 1984 as well. So I think this one's probably official Transformers, and this one's probably a GoBot or something. But yeah, was really chuffed to find those. The same boot sale picked this up, which was, it was like a Spawn little playset thing, and you can move his eyes round, and well, you could move this whole head round and get his jaw to chomp open and close, but unfortunately it got a bit damaged in my bag and these bits fell out. I paid £1 for it. It's probably not worth £1, so that'll probably go back in the car boot pile. It was just cool and took my fancy at the time. There was a lady who had a box of toys that she said were 20p each, and they had this Batman sticking out the top. Well, in fact the Batman didn't have that, it was just him sticking out like that. And I found this bit in the same box. It wasn't a very big box, it was only Batman and a few other little bits, but I thought for 20p we'd have him. And as I looked, she had this little dump truck car thing. I forget what these are called, these little cool ones where they have teeth and like some sort of action feature. There was also Bill from Thomas the Tank Engine, and this little Corgi Junior's Matchbox sort of size tractor. So I picked these 4 up. I couldn't find a 5th one. If I'm ever like picking up 4 items at 20p each, I always try and make it to £1. But yeah, so I picked all these up and I said, oh, I've got 4 items from your 20p bin, and she said, okay, call it 20p then. So I wasn't going to argue with her. She just dropped the price from 20p each to 5p each, and as I gave her like my 20p piece, she had a load of these old Thomas the Tank Engine things on the table that were all £2 each, and she just sold me one for 5p. So yeah, didn't quite fathom how that all worked out, but yeah, wasn't complaining about it. I found someone with some Wii games that he wanted £1 for. These were all the ones he had, and they all look pretty decent. Spyro, The Eternal Night, Super Monkey Ball, Banana Blitz, Arctic Tail. I'm trying to find some 2-player games, and even though this one has some mini games, they didn't quite fulfill what I wanted them to yesterday. But yeah, that was £3 for 3 Wii games there. Then this lady at the boot sale had some, I think it was like an Xbox 360 game that I didn't recognise, so I thought I'd just ask her how much she wanted, and she wanted like £2. I just thought, it's not worth it. But then I did see she had these Transformer Eraser pencil toppers. She said 50p, and you get 4 pencils and 4 rubbers, and then I turned it over and saw on the back it was a £5, which is madness for just some pencils and pen tops. But yeah, so I thought 50p, that was quite cool. I use a lot of pencils for work, so it'd be nice to have some sort of transformery ones. Next little lot I'll show you, it'll probably be this. The annoying thing is, after I did the video yesterday, I've mixed all the Lego together now, so it's all jumbled up. But I walked past this stall probably 4 or 5 times, and they were setting up, but there was just this one box of toys that just never seemed to get the lid opened on it. And when I was walking past on the 5th time, the box was suddenly near the front and no one had touched it, and I opened it and it was just full of just a random mix of toys. And I thought I'd have a look through. They were all small, little, tiny just not very high value toys, just rubbish little, 20p a piece sort of stuff. I said, oh, how much are your toys in the box? And the bloke said, oh, they were 50p each. And I was just looking at them thinking, oh, this is an expensive box of rubbish. And while I was looking around, I just saw this little Lego Woody sticking out the box, and I thought, oh, well, if there's Lego in here, it's worth a look. So we got a Lego Woody, found this Lego Buzz, couldn't find the little hat to go with him. Did have most of the big one rocket. It is missing the top bit, which is a shame, so it's missing a few bits. And then I just dug around in the box. I ended up finding an additional sort of 12 minifigures, or on top of them probably another 11 or 10, sorry. There was about 14 or 15 minifigures in total, and then there was this big bag full of there was also these other little brick things, and I just grabbed all that, and I just basically had a big handful of Lego pieces. He also had this cool little Guinness keychain with a toucan on, which I thought was really cool, and he also had this tiny little Trotters Independent Traders van on a keyring as well. So I had about 15 minifigures and these two, and then all the bricks, and I said, look, I've got some bits here, and he said, how many have you got? And I think he was literally going to charge me 50p for all of it, and it would have probably ended up at like a tenner or something. So I said, oh, I think I've got about 12 bits, so can we just call it £5? And he said, yeah, that's fine. So I ended up with this big handful of Lego, about 15 minifigures and some bricks and a couple of key rings for a £5, which wasn't too bad. And I thought, oh, well, that doesn't happen very often at boot sales for coming across Lego. And then I turned around, and this other little lad just opened a tiny little butter pot, and inside there was just lots of individual pieces of Lego, just literally arms, helmets, heads, legs, torsos, the whole thing. They were all not together, all loose. And I said, how much were your Lego minifigures? And he said they were 20p, and for 20p you got to pick your own legs, your own torso, your own head, your own weapon, your own accessory, your own hat, all this sort of thing. So, okay, so I rummaged through, and it ended up being about 8. As I say, because I did the video yesterday, they've all got jumbled up together, but he definitely had these 3 at the front at least. Definitely had Scratchy, this sort of Man-Bat, and this Lego Chimera character there. So I was pulling all those out, and his dad was still pulling things out the car and putting down, and they put down this DS as well. Didn't notice, but it does have a camera on the front, so I guess that's a different version of the DS than I have. Came with no game and no charger and no stylus. They wanted a £5 for that, and the Lego minifigures I ended up getting about 8 for £2. And then his dad came over and said it was a bit cheap, and did he want to up the price? So he upped the price to £2.25p, and it ended up being something like £8.50 or £7.50 altogether. So I still thought it was a good deal for the DS and all the Lego minifigures. In the end, I ended up around like 20 Lego figures from the 2 of them, for about £7.50, £8, something like that. Even though I was collecting Lego for my friends' kids, I'm also collecting funds. It's that time of year again, Glastonbury's getting closer. So the Legos just got stuck straight on eBay, and I'll let you know how it does. And I think that might be everything that was at the first car boot sale. Second car boot sale got to, there was literally next to nothing there. It was just dead. One of the few things I did buy from them was this set. It was a Nintendo Wii docking station, and when I got home it was missing one of the power packs, so you could only charge one of them up. Bleach, the sort of Chinese manga book, volumes 1 to 3, and Sonic Heroes on the GameCube. This stuff was all quite expensive. It ended up costing £4 in total. He wanted sort of £2.50 for this, and £1.50 for the book, and £1.50 for that. So he ended up wanting something like a £5 for the lot, and I managed to talk him down to 4, and I tried giving him 3, but no, he wouldn't have it. But yeah, and then I got home, found docking station was missing something, and the Sonic Heroes was just missing the game. Schoolboy error, should have checked. went back to the same boot sale today, saw the lad who I bought it from yesterday, and I was like, oh, did you find the game when you were clearing up? And he was like, no. Why'd you ask? You bought it, didn't you? And I was like, yeah, but the disc's not in it. So he said he'd go home, look in the GameCube, see if the disc was in there. They'd be doing another game, another, Carboot, and yeah, that he'd like reimburse me or whatever. So yeah, he said he felt bad about it, but still, I think I overpaid for that, especially since that was basically empty. New Zealand Story Revolution was £1, so I thought we'd try and get some DS games to go with this console. These little ET collectible things were £2 for the lot from one of the traders. They also had some other things, like some little Corgi Sesame Street character things. And then there was a fella who had a store, and he also had Black and White that I've put somewhere else, a Black and White expansion, and another game. And yeah, he was saying that it was 50p each or 3 for £1. So I went to start picking some bits up, and then he said, actually, if you're going to take a few, then you can have 8 for £2. So then they ended up being 25p each. So then I started picking up a load, and then his wife came over and said, look, you can't do that, it's too cheap. So I ended up saying to him, look, I don't want to pay you lots of money for this. Why don't we consider these ones that are like real games 50p each, and then you sort of give me these knockoff Wii games for free. So they're definitely knockoff because they say DVD games on them, and none of them work. So he gave me 5 of these knockoff games. He's like, I don't know if they'll work. None of them do. I don't know if you need a chipped console or discs are just bollocks. But so yeah, it ended up about 50p each. Again, games that I wouldn't normally pick up. Someone commented on one of my videos last week saying any game's worth more than 50p. Even old games that you'd have to get on your computer, you'd need like a Steam code, and they probably cost more than 50p, so they're worth picking up. So I'm going to give them a go. I did look on eBay, it looked like some ended at around 50p, so yeah, that was probably a waste of time. Maybe the Black and White expansion will be worth something, but we'll see. Anyway, what else did we get? Another Wii game, SmackDown vs Raw 2008, that was 50p. I asked this lady how much her books were, and she said £1, so I grabbed Grand Theft Auto 4, the walkthrough guide. When I gave her the £1, her son seemed a bit pissy that I just bought it so cheap, and it was like, well, I did ask. But so when I asked her how much Sims 2 Apartment Pets was on the DS, she said £2. I tried getting her down to 1, but she wasn't having it. We ended up settling on 2, on 150, sorry. So we met in the middle. Opposite that, there was this lady with this 20p box with this Wolverine sticking out of. It was like almost the second action figure I got all day, and the last one at that. So that was in the 20p box, as was this World Industries Firefighter. This Tamagotchi that looks like you grow a ninja on it for some reason, Ninja Tamagotchi, which said 50p but was in the 20p box. And this crazy Catwoman looking game of cards, which it's all foreign in the back, but when you put it into Google Translate, it becomes like a Happy Families game. So it's basically Snap, I think. So yeah, got that, and then I was trying to make it up to a full £1. So I saw she had a Munch Bunch magazine. She wanted 50p for that, but we said £1 a lot. And then I saw she had Bully Scholarship Edition on the Wii for £2, so we got that as another Wii game to play. And then just as I was leaving, happened to see someone selling, and this was a dealer selling some Wii games. He had them marked up at one at £3.50 and one at £3, but he took a £5 for the both, so they ended up being £2.50 each. Got them home, played them, not really my thing either. So out of all those games that I got there, not really a fan of any of those, which is a bit of a shame. So yeah, that was yesterday's haul. Nothing too exciting. And then there's today's haul. Now today was a bit different. I was doing some sort of, it was called like a broncante or something. it was like a French word for flea market or jumble sale or something, and a whole village comes out, and you get antiques dealers and like other people with proper crafts and wares selling things, but also people just seem to put a table up in their front garden and just sell their old tat. So because I knew I was going to that quite early in the morning, I could only squeeze in 1 or 2 car boot sales, more likely just the one. So I thought, well, if I can only do 1 car boot sale, I'll do the more local one. I got there and it was rubbish. Oh, it was so bad. I walked round and it felt like such a waste of time. This is normally one of the better car boot sales that I go to. So the first thing that I saw that seemed any good was this Jurassic World Blu-ray. I asked the lady, she said all of them were £1 except for the one Jurassic World one. That one's £3, so she knew my game straight away, didn't she? But yeah, I still said to her, look, I'd really like that, I'll come back for that £3. She didn't have any change, so I walked off. Saw a lady who normally does my more local car boot sale, and she just sells tat and junk, and I mean she sells from about 6 till 10 or 11 whenever she gets bored, and then she just gives everything away, like her entire stock away, and then she comes back the next week and does it all again. I don't know where she gets all her stuff from. But yeah, so I see her around quite a lot, and today she just turned up with loads of games, and I was like, oh my god, she's just going to start giving away all these PS2 games and whatnot. And I said, what's going on? What? This isn't your normal stuff. This isn't even your normal car boot. And she went, no, this is my new business. I'm buying and selling electronics. And I went, oh, that's pretty cool. So how long have you been doing that? And she said since January, and she must have pulled out so many different consoles and games. I'm assuming from her getting to the car boots well early to set up, she's been scouring them and picking up all the goodies. But yeah, she had loads of stuff. I ended up buying these 2 off of her, Destiny and Shadow of Mordor, £15 for the 2, which isn't too bad, I don't think. I don't really know what the going price is. Last time I looked, they were about 20 quid each, so just slightly less than half price, I think. So I bought that. With the Jurassic World, I was like £18 down. This fella had these annuals. They actually look in really nice shape. A couple of them I've already got, I'm pretty sure, but they just looked really clean and crisp. And I bought something from him the day before. I think I bought a nunchuck from him on the Sunday that I've forgotten to show you, but that was only 50p. So I asked him how much he wanted for these, and he said £3, so they were about £1 each. And I hesitated, and he said, oh, you can have the 3 for £2 if you want then. So I ended up getting these for £2, which is quite cool. Really like the artwork in the Thundercats one, actually. That's really vivid and clear and crisp. Andrew Martin, 14. Wow. Okay, so this guy obviously lived in Nottingham when he first had these. Doesn't anymore. Now he lives down my neck of the woods. And the only other thing we got at the other car boot was Marvel Zombies, hardcover one. Kirkman Zombies and Marvel, should be pretty good, but that was £3. And that was it. So that was the good car boot sale. It was expensive and there wasn't very much, literally no toys at all. So decided that seeing as that was such a bust, we check on one tiny car boot on the way home to get changed to go to this Bronco thing. And the one we go to, there's normally about 10 cars, and today there was 5. And as soon as we pulled in, you almost felt annoyed that you were going to pay £1 entry to see these 5 stalls. But we thought we'll be in and out in 10 minutes. It'll satisfy the is there anything there sort of hunger. So anyway, we walked around. It's a random box of toys. I asked the fella how much they were. He said everything in there was 50p. There was this battered up beaten Ecto 3, which is a real shame. I pulled it out and gave him 50p, and he said, "What is it?" And I said, "Oh, it's like a little dune buggy from Ghostbusters. This is the X-03. It should have some little arms there, and then you could move this and it would move those, but that doesn't seem to work, so yeah, it's definitely broken." And he was like, "Oh, have you got a bargain there then, have you?" And I went, "Well, not really. I'd say it was probably worth about 50p, to be honest with you, but yeah, I've already got one in the box. I can't remember if I do or not." But yeah, as we were talking, he said to someone, "Oh yeah, they're original NES games. They're original NES, those. Yeah, do you remember?" And then I looked around, and I couldn't see who else he was talking to, and I couldn't see any NES games or anything. So I thought, oh, I don't know what was going on. Anyway, I looked, but I just bought that 50p and I walked off. When we walked past, like 2 seconds later, these were suddenly on the table: DuckTales and Stealth. Stealth one's a bit damaged on the back there, but they not only come in the box, but they've got their nice little Nintendo sleeves there too. So we picked these up. He said, "Did I know what these are?" And I said, "Well, I know that's Scrooge McDuck." I said, "I really like Scrooge McDuck." I said, "I've still got this console, I think, up in the loft. We could get this out and have a play." And he said, "Oh, well, if you want those, then you can have the 2 for £1. So that was really good. I think we did better at that second car boot sale with one stall, paying £1.50 for 2 NES games and the Ecto, than at the one that I stamped around for like an hour this morning, just couldn't find anything. But yeah, 2 NES games in the box, that very rarely happens. So after that we went to this Broncante thing, which was about a half-hour drive from me. Never heard of this before. Apparently it's a French thing, and it was going to be antique-y, but yeah, we found things far from antiques. So the first place we actually bought something from, went round the corner, and this lady must have had like 3 sons, I think, and one of them had a load of Nintendo DS games. I think he wanted £1 each, so we took Super Mario Bros. And Star Wars The Complete Saga. He did have some others, like some Playmobil Night game that was missing the cover, and something else that sort of tickled my fancy, but wasn't sure if they had any value still, so I thought I'd just see what else they had before I purchased. So I got these 2 for £2. In fact, they might have been £2 each. I might have got those for £4. That might have been why I didn't buy the others. So I got those 2 for £4 perhaps, or £2. I can't quite remember. And then we went over to see his brother, who had a load of Wii games, and they were doing these at £1 each. So we got Donkey Kong Country Returns, this Super Mario Brothers History, which he assured me meant you could play every one of the games listed on the back here, which I thought was mightily impressive, so we said we'll have that. Pirates of the Caribbean, Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars, Sonic The Secret Rings, Super Mario Bros. Wii, and Super Mario All-Stars. So we picked those up for £7. He also had some other little Wii bits, and we said, "Look, is that a Wii bundle, or are you selling like parts out of it?" And he said he'd sell parts. So he sold us this controller. I think he wanted £2 for that, the Wii Motion Plus one. So I said, yeah, £2 for that was okay. And then a black nunchuck he wanted £1 for, and then I saw he had these 2 chargers, which would be very handy for that dock I bought on the Sunday yesterday that doesn't have these. So yeah, brilliant. Now we've got the chargers and the packs to go with it. So it ended up being £12. So we'd spent about £14 on this little lot here, which wasn't too bad, I don't think. I did try and play the Super Mario's game, the newer one, when I got home, and I can't get the bloody thing to work. When you put the disc in, it all like starts up, and then when the game's meant to begin, it just sort of, yeah, messes up. So that's a bit of a shame, but I thought that was still a good price, and there's still some games I'll play out of that. Went round the corner, and there was someone selling Wii games for 50p each. So we got Link's Crossbow Training, Dragon Ball Revenge of King Piccolo, and Mario Kart on the Wii. So we got all those at 50p each. And as we were walking away, the kid started calling us back saying, hey, come back. And I said, oh, what's wrong? He was like, I think one of the discs is missing. So he checked all the cases for us and he went, no, they're all there, that's great, take them, bye. So that was really nice of him. Someone else there had Boardwalk Empire Season 3 for £1. Someone had these little books at 50p each, Sleeping Beauty and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and these are the paper cover ones that seem to sell for about £4 or £5 each. And they also had Skeleton Warriors, so we got those 3 for £1.50. There was someone selling a little Lego minifigure, Series 12, new in the packet. They only wanted 50p for that, so that was cool. We got this sort of Lego cooking egg time thing. That was 50p. And then when I walked past the stall on the way home, someone went back to pick up this huge box of Lego. I mean, it was massive. Really gutted we didn't find that, but hey ho. And then the last thing I got from there was this DX jersey. This was the only piece of like wrestling clothing I really wanted as a kid. It just looked like such a cool thing when like X-Pac and D-Generation X were wearing it. It's got the little logo on the side. There was a girl selling it who was probably about my sort of age, and I said, oh, you know, is this yours? Because it was all mixed in with a load of girls' clothes. And she went, oh no, it was my ex's, so getting rid of it. It smells so heavily of perfume. Just even taking it out to put it on camera, it's so strong. Oh my god. Yeah, so yeah, I imagine that was like some 14, 15-year-old girls that she's covered in Charlie spray or something. So that needs a real good wash. Jesus. But yeah, so that was it. So I think the one we probably did best at was this Brionke thing, or the rubbish Carboot. It just wasn't a great weekend for action figures and retro stuff. Like, apart from these few bits here and a couple of the games, everything's really quite modern, or yeah, just not what I'm after. However, if you've seen the poor soundless videos that I put up yesterday, you'll see that I've also got some more stuff to show you guys. That's stuff I got off eBay and from trades and yeah, stuff like that, charity shop haul stuff, and that's more focused to what I normally get. So yeah, I'll put that video up shortly, but for the meantime, guys, there's a 6 car boot haul video for you to enjoy with sound. Woohoo!